In the next series of modules, we're going to add windows, glazing systems, the spandrels that go before. And so we still need to, I guess, deal with those structural elements. And I want to kind of keep them all contained in this lecture so we can talk about other things in the next lectures. So let's start just as a reminder about this idea of writing a narrative. I think it's really important. I want to continue to reinforce it. The idea of tell me what you did, what your experience was, whether you had problems with it. In this lab, I discovered a new way to section a building, they're saying. This lab took me slightly longer than I anticipated. In the future, I hope to gain a better understanding of the link between Revit textures and original texture and the original image. The issues they might have had with making the textures for the brick and that. So all kinds of things that you can add. And I find it really valuable. It helps to guide the way I create the learning materials, and it helps me to make the course, I guess, more fluid or more flexible and create less friction and problems for students going forward. Also, this is just a separate issue. I get this about this time of the semester every year. I see a lot of text placed, mostly I think because students get exhausted towards the end and just want to fill in things. But the idea of placing a text with a white background over a dark background, or just blotting out the thing that's behind it, is really not a very sophisticated presentation of graphics. And we've gone through ways to solve that problem. We know that we can make our text transparent. And the other level of nuance to that is, besides just having the transparency behind the text, if we're placing it on a dark surface, we should make text that's white. And if we're placing it on a light surface, we should make text that's either black or gray. So please keep that in mind. I think it's important, and I hate to keep generating what tends to be time after time reminders to students on individual projects. So storefront glazing is a tool we're going to use in module 3. And storefront glazing is seen all over. It's a relatively sophisticated technical product in the componentry of it. And it's really easily placed in our BIM modeler. It's just like drawing a wall. So it's quick and efficient. This is an example of the wall that we drew. And then on the right here, I show you that this is very similar to what actually happens in the real world when we make a curtain wall. A storefront glazing curtain wall, should I elaborate? I spend time with you on the idea of resetting the window back to create this kind of a edge detail over here, as I'm showing you on the left. And that happens in real storefront detailing. So here's a really nice storefront trimmed out with some kind of extra masonry border to it, but you can see how the window has a recess to that, and that creates another piece of visual interest in highlighting in it. And it shows a level of sophistication in your architectural development. This is what windows actually look like when they're cut in section. They're a little more complicated than we actually draw. And typically they have two pieces of glazing. The glass, separated by air, will fill with gas, but the idea is to create a more insulating material. Once again, I don't want to overdo the technical details, but here's how our components are representations of what is in the real world. I'm going to end this, and I'll make a separate clip on showing you how these aluminum extrusions, these components, are made. I'll probably show, if you happen to take later courses with me, you'll see this again, but I thought it was quite interesting, so you might want to take a few minutes and watch this video.